Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. Papua New Guinean Prime Minister Peter O'Neill jetted into the country this afternoon. This is his first official visit as Prime Minister. Deb Narayan has more.
Foreign Affairs Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola received Prime Minister Peter O'Neill at the Nosuri Airport. O'Neill is accompanied by a high-level delegation which includes about 100 people. He was accorded a guard of honor by the Fiji military forces before heading straight to Boran House, where he met with Fijian Prime Minister Komodo Vorenge Bainimarama. The meeting is expected to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. Prime Minister O'Neill is also in Fiji for the Mineral Resources Development Corporation MRDC-sponsored golf tournament and the launching of the change of ownership of Pearl Resort at Pacific Harbour. He will return to Port Moresby on Monday. Dev Narayan, FBC News.
The Information Ministry has hit out at reports that daylight saving will disrupt people's daily lives. Last night, the School Management Association President Govind Singh claimed students mostly would be affected. Today, the Permanent Secretary Information Sharon Smith-Johns says it's all a myth.
According to the government, a lot of thought and planning has gone into daylight saving.
We're moving 1 hour. It's not a lot of time to move. Countries throughout the entire world use daylight savings. This, I won't be able to get out of bed in the morning. I'll be running late for work. How? If you go to bed at 9 o'clock, you go to bed at 9 o'clock. You wake up at 7, you wake up at 7.
Smith-John says people need to understand that daylight saving simply means moving the clock 1 hour ahead.
In June, the sun sets early, as we know, right? 5:42. With daylight savings, it's 7:09. So what we're doing is taking an hour off the morning and we're just putting it at the end of the day.
She says all the talk of disruption to daily life is misinformation, which is confusing people.
It's very frustrating when I've got somebody on TV last night who is going on about children having to walk to school with lanterns and all this rot about this preconceived idea, this myth of daylight savings.
The clock will be wound ahead by an hour from Sunday morning. This, according to the Information PS, will encourage people to become active.
No kids are going to school in the dark. No people are going to work in the dark because it's, as you can see, in the middle of winter, daylight savings, yeah? So we're adding that extra hour to the end of the day. We're giving people more time, more leisure time. More time to play sport, more time to go for a walk.
The move will also give more time for tourists to enjoy their stay in Fiji. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
A family in Samambula have been left devastated after a fire destroyed their top flat and all its contents. FBC News arrived at the scene to find firefighters in action, trying to prevent the fire from spreading to the two bottom flats. While no one was injured, the National Fire Authority has again raised its concern on the increased number of house fires recently. Today's incident is the third in just a week. Police and the NFA are investigating to determine what caused this fire.